Hi folks, this is Keith. This is the Silvertone 7036 radio from 1941-1942. I've been working, taking stuff out. I was going to show you underneath kind of what's going on. Let me get to, sorry for all the uhs. I'll bounce you around for a second. Okay, check out the cabinet. Got the cabinet. I don't know if you remember, but there were, here, let me pull back a little bit. There were gouges and scratches and big gouges and scratches all through there. We got that all sanded down and ready to go. I got a little bit of smoothing sanding with like 400 yet to do, but we're almost there. We've got it sanded off and pretty well down. I still have to do a little more with this. That's the dark sand. There's kind of a crack here. I'll wait for it to focus. See the little bit of a crack right there. Nothing too exciting. There were scratches and gouges and all that kind of stuff on this side too. And remember, this is veneer, so you kind of have to be careful when you're sanding it. This area down here was kind of a very, very dark walnut. You can still see a little bit of it. There you can see it's that kind of blackish walnut finish, and I've got to get rid of that still, but I'm going to do that with the 400, and I'm going to try and be very easy on this for the rest of it. It's been kind of a rough go on the sanding because I had to do a lot of sanding to get a lot of this stuff out, and I don't want to go too deep. Don't want to affect the veneer. Not bad. I mean, it's coming out very well. This would be your average older radio. That is also a Silvertone. I'm going to start on it at some point. It actually has a wicked cool tuning. I love that thing. Anyway, I've got to figure out one thing that I do need is let me head back over the bench. I need that push button, and I do have to restring this. I found the wiring diagram. It's not too bad. 3.5 turns on that one and one on this one. Alright, so you kind of get the idea that we've been doing a lot to the radio. Replaced a couple of different tubes. I think, let me get over here so you can see it. Told you about that tube. I now have the 7Z7 in there instead of the 7A7. I was surprised because it really didn't make a whole lot of difference, but it made a little bit of difference. Okay, let me flip this up just so you can kind of see. We have an enormous amount. Well, you can see the spring and the dial string hanging down. Anyway, I've been working on all of these and greasing them, that kind of thing. This thing, here, flip it on so you can see it. This would barely move. I still have to do a little bit of work on it, but tuning pot, volume pot, tuning pot are so much cleaner, so much less static than we had before. Just trying to give you a quick look at everything that we did. This is going to be a relatively short video. And I got gator wires up here. Now, let me pull this back down. I have seen 3 or 4 different videos on replacing, let me get these over here, I've been working, these bad boys, carbon resistors, okay? I only found 4 that were out of tolerance. The rest of them under there are great. Actually, some of these were great, which is surprising after all those years. There is a difference. The radio, even with these resistors in it, and these were not way out of tolerance, but out of tolerance. Even with these in there, it was receiving and playing like a dream. I mean, that thing. Oh, and for John and the rest of the guys, I did pull all of these tubes, scrape the pins, sprayed the tube sockets, ran a toothpick down in there with some cleaner, electronics cleaner. Later I'll show you, with some of our cool QD cleaner up there on there, and ran it down in there to try and get some contact back in those. And I know that can be a problem too, but what I found out is I replaced these bad boys with metal resistors, metal film resistors. It doesn't receive as well, and I don't know why. I'm always astounded by that, because I've read that, I've heard that, I've seen people, you know, I watched 2 different videos where they couldn't figure out why their reception had gone down after they changed a resistor that was out of tolerance. And I have a big order into DX Engineering, and I've got several boxes actually that are mountable on the wall, coming with carbon resistors of all values. So I'm gonna replace the metal ones that I used underneath the radio over here, and I still have to clean all this up and get the cabinet, but I've been doing the electronics first. I have to figure out what to do with this too. And you can see it's not, something happened right there, and I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if that would come off. I've heard horror stories about these things washing off, and I want to clean it and brighten it back up, but I don't want to screw it up. And you notice up here, looks like it's got a lot of sun damage compared to that would be, to me, would be normal. And this would be sun damage, kind of a washing out, if you will, of the colors. And there might be a way to bring that back, I'm not sure. This is vexing. Wish I could find a knob for it. That Silvertone that I showed you over on the other bench is basically the exact same knob. Here, let me walk back over there. I've showed you the cone before, but notice a little bit right there. There's still kind of a crack. I'm gonna seal that up a little bit better, make sure that it's in better shape. Love this thing. I mean, it picks up. It is an incredible antenna. I mean, it's got a lot of wires on there, and it wraps around. It's a radio net aerial, but wow, that thing works like $1 million. Okay, let's walk back over here real quick. Yes, I'm shaking you all over. Notice, very, very, very similar. They're a little bit wider, a little bit bigger, but not much. I mean, that would, if I had one of those, I could almost make it work, you know. I just have to sand it down a little bit, cut it a little. But anyway, just so you can see, check that out. It's a very interesting radio, how they marked it and what they did to it. Let me go over here. Bands, get up close. Really nice lettering inside there. This is a little bit yellowed, but I think it'll clean up. Anyway, that will be a project in one of these days. Back to the Silvertone 7036. Not a bad radio, not in bad shape. So, last time that you heard it, we were barely getting the light out of there. Barely getting any sound. Now this will come up like a lot of the radios do. Here, let me leave the volume down. It'll do its, and tubes will kick in, and heaters will start warming up, and everything will start to work. I also got to plug these in. KFI and I believe it's KNX. I had no clue where those stations were. That'd give me a clue as to where this thing came from. Alright. I'm up to, let me see if you can see this. I'm up. That's all the way down. I can still hear it. Maybe 1/16 of a turn. 770 KKLB.
Welcome back
Sounds good. I mean, even with this little bitty speaker in there, and even with a couple of cracks in it, it's working pretty well. And obviously, you know, this isn't working because I don't have the dial string hooked up yet. But let's do. That's the strongest station that we have in our market. Let's. Grants. This is Christian station. In the day, none of these are going to come in great.
What's the use even praying? You know, the more I pray, the more this thing goes under.
We've got you covered. Every reason is the perfect reason to enjoy your meal at Milton's Cafe. Milton's offers the best New Mexican food.
Well, when I started on the radio, I could barely get one station. And I mean literally, I could barely get one station. That's a Hispanic station from down in Mexico. I don't have it cranked way up here. Crank it up so you can kind of hear it.
Right, America is like Peter Pan, right? We want to stay in.
You understand daylight? It's, there you go. Not even 2 o'clock here, and we don't pick up great. That's over in Grants Gallop area. That's about 85 miles away. And I'm inside of a...
2 years ago, she's a different person. Different person. Daddy, we'll ever get there. I'm help you, man.
That's KKOB. That'll be really loud.
Worrying about the ancillary stuff. And again, I'm going to get to it after act at the top of the hour here on CBS Sports Radio. Here's one of the things I had on my list that I do want to get into. Look, I've been very open.
I think it's Las Cruces. Anyway, just so you can kind of see what's going on, right? All right, it's receiving well, it's doing well. We're having a, good turn up, and I'm kind of looking forward to getting those carbon resistors in there just to see if it makes any difference. It may make no difference whatsoever. I still think I'm going to have to do some tube cleaning on that pin, and I have cleaned them and scraped them. So John, Dennis, Brendan, all the folks, I have taken my, as instructed in the videos, my little, and just very gently, carefully scraped all the way around the pins and then put them back in, and cleaned all the sockets with I was almost about ready to say WD-40, but what I've cleaned the sockets with is the QD contact cleaner, and then going to be doing some more with the electronic cleaner. So, I hope that kind of gives you an update on the radio. I still have to clean up everything. Chassis is kind of tarnished from, obviously, 70 years, but not bad. I mean, it's cleaning up, it's beginning. It used to have just dirt everywhere. This is actual rust. I mean, this is here. Let me see if I can get it in focus for you. That's rust. That's not dirt. This takes a lot to get off of there. Some of this I've cleaned, but I've used alcohol and some things on there just to get the initial dirt off. And I still have to do a general cleaning and take all this apart. Haven't done alignment yet. Have to do that. It may affect the radio. It may actually make it receive better. But right now, this thing's receiving great. The problem is with the dial string